one. I'm Mark Allen Muir, and I'm visiting with the Slayton ISD Superintendent, Miss Julee Becker. Miss Becker, I know some things are going on in Slayton, getting ready for a bond and everything that's coming up, and there's some things that wanting to talk about and visit with, some things that you see that are needed at Slayton ISD.
Yes, sir. We are so excited because we are embarking on another bond campaign to improve our facilities for our students. And there are so many opportunities here to make things better and to protect the investment that our community has made in our schools for over 103 years. We have a real general approach to what we're doing. We have certain things that are going to be done on all campuses, and then we have certain specific projects that are going to be done on each campus, depending on the needs of that campus and, of course, the age group of the kids on that campus. So very excited to be able to look at offering an instructional technology plan to be able to give our students the kinds of technology tools that they will use in the workplace after high school, and to replace some of our computers that are 9 and 10 years old that are not quite up to par right now.
Yeah.
So
Boy, and
instructional.
Things are moving so fast in technology. Just to stay on top of it, new things have to be done all the time, and it takes new revenue in order to do that. And of course, you're seeing the needs that the students need and what needs plugged in to keep the students in gear and deal with their future.
That's right, and what the students need for their technology, for their research and their learning. It's not about learning a computer. It's about learning about other things through the tool of a computer. And so teachers also need technology that engages students, and we're not talking about spending a lot of money at one time on hardware that will wear out. We're talking about repair and replacement of what we've got now, and then to provide more opportunities for students to use technology for research and those kinds of things. So the instructional technology plan is a big part of the bond. Of course, we are looking at repair and replacement of our aged roofs. You know, we have one building that's almost 90 years old, one that's 77 years old, and two that are 60 years old. And so roof replacement's going to be one of those things that help keep what's inside safe. And, of course, we're also looking at our heating and cooling systems because they are, on average, about 17 to 18 years old and not the most efficient of heating and cooling systems.
And these are maintenance things, and they don't come cheap either.
No, sir, they don't come cheap. What's exciting about it, though, is now that there's, advancements in technology, we still have T12 bulbs in our lighting. By replacing lighting with LED, our electricity cost for lighting will be cut in half immediately. And then not to mention that LEDs last a long time. You don't have to constantly replace those. So they're very efficient. They give off good light now, and kids need good light to do good learning. So lighting's another exciting thing that we're wanting to be able to do. Another one of the things that touch all campuses is, indoor fire sprinkler systems. We are not up to code with fire sprinklers. Mr. Rainwater and I have had that conversation now over several years, and we keep promising him if we can ever get to it as far as the physical responsibility goes, that's important to us too, because safety's number one, and so being able to do that for our buildings and our kids, that's another one of those things that's a pretty big deal. Along with restrooms that work, that you can flush without, worrying about them backing up. And that's not a single campus issue. That's plumbing that's, 80 years old.
Yeah, and it's not just plumbing that's inside the building. It's plumbing that's outside the building that's connecting to the city even.
That's exactly right. We are needing, especially at high school, we have to clean that system out every 2-3 months because of just it's aged. It's level. The manhole is sunk now. So it takes a special rig. We have to hire somebody to come and do that. So we're hoping to be able to replace that as we do the parking lot. It just makes sense to do it all at one time, and that's what's most efficient. So those are projects that we have planned that touch all campuses. So every kid's affected in a positive way.
So a lot of this is, so far you've talked about technology and you're talking about maintenance, really maintenance.
Yes, sir.
And what's some more things that are going on?
Well, we have got instructional space needs on every campus. And as our committee and our board took a look at the space needs, we are looking at doing something very efficient and fairly new to the building industry, but proven, and that's monolithic domes. At Stephen F. Austin, we have a gym there that is rusted out with no heating and cooling. The floor is worn out. It's an older gym, and we're looking at replacing that with a multi-purpose dome building that will update that building area along with some fascia replacement so that the building is safe and more modern. We talked before about the mortar needing to be replaced on that building. So we're looking at a domed building plus a more modern fascia at Stephen F. Austin primary campus. That domed building will also serve as an F5 rated tornado shelter that's above ground. So that area of our community will then have a tornado shelter that's open for the community at any time. And then it's also going to update and up the environment there at Stephen F. Austin. It's needing that. So we're excited about that part. Our little ones, our 4- and 5-year-olds, well, actually 3, 4, and 5-year-olds that go to school there. It's an amazing place for learning, and with some upgrades in facilities, we know that there'll be an even better job there. We're looking at Kathleen Thomas. We serve about 500 to 525 students there, and we have a cafeteria that was originally built to serve about 200. And so we're looking at upgrading the kitchen area, and the equipment must be replaced. It's to the point now, our kitchen equipment, that's one of the places we're having to make our own parts for the actual ovens and the hot water heater and those things.
Things are so out of date and everything. Ms. Becker, what are some other bullet points? We're going to have you back on here next week.
Sure.
What are some of the other main points of things that are needed? If you were to shoot them all off, what you have left on your list, what would those be?
Very good. Well, at Kathleen Thomas Elementary, we're also looking at a multi-purpose facility, a domed facility, F5 rated tornado shelter that will also serve as a fine art and music along with PE facility. We do not have music right now there. At junior high, we're looking at a greenhouse for horticulture instruction, and then a domed facility there for athletics, so students have to be best of the high school right now for competitive athletics. And then the high school projects, of course, we'll talk later on in depth about the Vocational Agricultural Certification Center that we're looking at. So
I know
lots of good things.
Good things are going on, and then things are changing. From 20 or 30 years ago, things are different today, and so there's different needs within the community, and to keep that community going. What is really neat about all this is a lot of what you're talking about is for the students, but also involves the community. It's things where the community is involved. And, of course, today more and more parents are involved with kids than ever before through the school activities and the functions and the booster clubs and all that type stuff. So, you're talking about things for the kids, for the parents to help with the kids, and for the community that doesn't even have kids in school. So I think
absolutely.
Some neat stuff and some progressive plans have gone into all this. And I appreciate your time today. We're going to visit again next week if we can have you back. I'd like to do this another few more times because there's a lot of information and some questions that I have. But we wanted to pique everybody's interest and whet their appetite just a little bit today. So I appreciate your time, Ms. Becker.
Absolutely. Y'all call us if you have questions.
Okay. Thank you, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.